What is up everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode on ScootSuperNews. This is a series I've created to give you guys more information, more depth, more detail about these crazy super and hypercars that I've managed to spot around the world and give you more of an insight to why these cars are so special. In this episode, we're going to focus on the Bugatti Veyron Vitesse Tiffany edition. Now, a lot of you UK car sports might recognise this car, and this has been spotted at a lot of events, and it was sat in the Romans International showroom for quite some time. But did you know the real depth and details about this car? So this Vitesse, chassis 795048, this was number 48 out of the 92 Vitesses made worldwide, and it is the only one that was made with this two-tone paint scheme, which was Tiffany, and a full carbon body, which was an extra £150,000 if you wanted to add that to your Bugatti spec. Now, the colour Tiffany is of course referred to the jewellery, but it cannot be used casually. And in fact, you actually need to get it authorised just to use it. And if you do, apparently the colour costs £250,000. Now, before I go into the history of this car, where it's been, who spec'd it, who was the first owner, the original invoice of this car was actually Tiffany Green. And as the nickname is Tiffany, it was never actually commissioned by Tiffany & Co themselves. So although I'm going to call it the Tiffany edition, I just wanted to make it very clear that they actually never commissioned it. But who knows, we might find out in the future that it was actually from them, but all we know is, well, I call it the Tiffany, and it's such a cool colour. I mean, oh yeah, as you can see. So let's go back right to the beginning, all the way back to 2014, when this car was first delivered in Shanghai, China, to the first owner, who we're going to refer to as JX. JX was a massive hypercar and supercar collector out in China. I mean, from other Paganis, Koenigseggs, racing cars, you name it. But JX was actually very famously known to own the Pagani Zonda 760 RS JX, of course, them initials. Now, this car then turned out to be the Viola, but it was a turquoise 760, and there was one stage, the first time I saw Viola in 2016 at Salon Privé at Blenheim Palace. It had the purple body on the outside, Viola, but it still had the turquoise interior. He's had a really cool garage throughout the years, and as you can see from these cool unseen photos, and there's many photos I could find on the internet to do with this car, it was a very turquoise garage. Now, apparently he actually created the Snake Esport team, which in the garage you might see an exclusive logo, which he used to customize his cars like the Zonda 760 RS JX and many of the other racing cars. But the Tiffany Veyron, well, it never had the logo on the car. The only cool thing about this car, which is a bit confusing to understand, is in the middle center console of the car, it does have the number 9. Now, apparently this actually is the 9th Vitesse built in the factory, but still comes under as the number 48th out of the 92 made. It's really weird. Apparently 9 is also a special number out there, I guess in China, but that is why there's number 9 in the middle there. And still, I think this is the craziest hypercar customization from factory. The owner actually got his son's baby feet molded into the interior of the car. I mean, I don't know any other car to have that, let alone a Bugatti Veyron Vitesse at that level. The only weird thing is, as you'll find out from the history of this car has been sold more than 3 times. Now, and if you're a new owner of this car, would you want another person's baby feet in the car? It probably sounds really weird unless you are the original owner and then baby feet mean something to you. I just find it crazy how he came up with that, but it also shows how open Bugatti are to creating your wildest dreams and what you want to achieve in the car. Yeah, I'd like baby feet in my Bugatti Veyron. I mean, why not? So, like I said, this car was first spotted in 2014, wrapped up and ready for delivery. Now, unfortunately, the early stages of this car, with it being in China, there's not many photos to get from the internet, but I've put some on the screen, some unseen photos I believe not a lot of you guys would have seen. But the car then moved to Hong Kong after living in China, and then it was up for sale at the Knights International in 2017. And this is where the story takes a massive turn. Romans International, a showroom on the outskirts of London, purchased this car with only 355 miles on the clock. And as soon as Romans Internationals purchased this car, they made a full YouTube video of how they brought the car over and more history about this car, which you can check out, as I got a lot of my information from that video. And also a massive shout out to Exclusive Car Registry. That is also the other website. I get all my information on supercars, hypercars, limited cars around the world. If I want to know colour names, chassis numbers, and a basic history about the car, If you want to check it out, there is a link below in my bio, just exclusive car registries, and you can type in any hypercar you want and find a brief information about that car. But then it was spotted at the Warren Car Show. This was its first UK public debut, of where all these UK car spotters got to see it. But unfortunately, I believe I was 16 at the time, so I would have been doing my GCSEs and I couldn't make it to that event. So I had to wait a whole year until 2019, which was the London Concourse. And finally, this car was on display and I got to see it. And I just remember my 17-year-old self. There is actually a poster in my bedroom of me next to this car. I was so obsessed with this colour combo. As you can see, I still love turquoise, but I just love these hypercars that are not in basic specs. It's not just blue, it's in a full carbon fibre body. Only a few months later, it was then spotted at the Goodwood Festival of Speed 2019. And after Goodwood, this car, well, it was hardly seen. We went from 2019 to the next spotting, which was 2021, which was when I actually went to the Warren's house, the Warren's collection, and oh my word, it was unbelievable. I went with Petrol Hensum to unveil his personal Aventador in Viola Ophelia, but the owner of the Tiffany Veyron, he also had, well, 4 Enzos, but only 2 were in the garage at the time. A Bugatti Chiron, I think there was another Bugatti Veyron, there was even a Brunei Black XJ220 on the same lineup with an Aston Martin Zagato and shooting brake, as well as the Tiffany Veyron, which I got to see. But staying on track with the history of this car, we then go forward to the 9th of September 2023, which was when it actually got sold again by Rome's Internationals. The Warren gave up the car, it sat in their showroom for I think 2 years after that, and Roman sold it September 2023, and then no one heard anything about this car. Until the 13th of March 2024, this particular car was spotted in Motor World in Munich, which is Germany, in the service bay. And nearly a year later, 10 months on, there has been absolutely nothing. I only just brushed past that TikTok video where I saw a car spotter spotting it in the service in Germany, and there's been nothing else about this car. It is such a shame that this is where I make this series, to document these hypercars, that these cars will spend years of being unseen, a whole year of them going to loads of events like this did in the UK, and all of a sudden we're nearly a year in and it hasn't been spotted anywhere in Germany apart from the service bay, which I just presume was when it first got delivered to probably have a health check or just to get the owner's registration plate on it. So yeah, it's really sad that I've got nothing else until that date onwards, but what a cool history this car's had, and there's still some more cool stuff about this particular car to talk about. And like I was saying, JX was a massive supercar and hypercar collector. Back in the day, he was collecting, like I was saying, Pagani Zonda Rs, Agueras. We can also see in this photo, he's got a LaFerrari, Enzo, TDF, Agera R, and also the famous Zonda 760 RS JX. But recently, he actually has purchased a Project One. And what are the colour schemes? They are, again, the Tiffany blue and black, which looks really cool. And this is the only recent car I've actually seen him be purchased or been posted. It would be really cool to see what's in his collection nowadays. And then there we go. That is the history of the Bugatti Veyron Vitesse chassis 795048. I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's one of the coolest spec ones. It's really cool to see that it's lived many lives, many owners. I would just love to know some more recent activity to do with this car, where it's been, who owns it now, is it in another cool collection, will we see it again in the future? I have no clue. And like I say, if there's any cars you want me to talk about or any you want to find more information on that I've maybe spotted, head over to my Instagram. I only post cars that I've seen around the world, and if you spot one that you like, maybe I can do a whole story about that. And in the comments below, you're going to have to tell me, how do you spec your Bugatti Veyron? This Bugatti does go in my top 5, and there is a video coming very soon of my top 5 favourite spec'd Bugatti Veyrons ever made. This does make the list, but I really want to know what is yours, and maybe I can include it in that video very soon in the future. I love this colour combination, but do you? Would you just go for full carbon body, or would you go for something crazier like pink, purple, orange? Who knows, but let me know. And thank you so much for watching again on Scoot Super News. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please share, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in another episode very soon.